Operation Confidence and LA Talk Radio proudly presents America's Invisible Heroes radio talk show. Tune in weekly on Sundays, 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific Time, with your hosts, Consuelo Mackey, U.S. Army veteran and co-host Matt Davison, announcer Taylor Marcella, and Brooke Gadesi, U.S. Army veteran and entertainment segment host Charles Whitehead, Veterans and Legal segment host, attorney Danielle Sherrod, U.S. Army Veterans and Lifeline for Women Veterans segment host Martha Elena Varela, Veterans in Recovery host Anthony Akinpora, and U.S. Air Force veteran and Incarceration to Success segment host Kevin Lewandowski. For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Americans Invisible Heroes, a show dedicated to our veterans and their families. And yes, I'm your host, Consuelo Mackey, Executive Director of a grassroots nonprofit organization called Operation Confidence. For those who are new to the show, Operation Confidence and American Invisible Heroes strives to provide a platform for veterans to be able to share their experiences, heartfelt stories, resources, challenges, and accomplishments. Now, I'd like to introduce you to my wonderful co-host, Air Force veteran and Operation Confidence board member, Matt Davison, U.S. Army Reserve and board member, Charles Whitehead, our announcer, Brooke Gadesi, also a board member, Taylor Marcella, board member and also an announcer, Kevin Lewandowski, board member and a segment host, and his segment is called From Incarceration to Success. And we have Anthony Campempora. He's a segment host with Veterans in Recovery. Good afternoon to you all. Welcome Facebook Live viewers, LA Talk Radio listeners, and yes, YouTube viewers. Hello to everyone.
Hello.
All right now.
All right. Yes, that's right. American Invisible Heroes now is not only on LA Talk Radio Live, but we also on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, so check us out. Now I'm going to turn it over to Matt. Take it away, Matt.
Thank you, Connie. If you're up for success through education, you need to learn about the GI Bill eligibility requirements and find out how you can get these benefits. VA education benefits can help you pay your tuition, pick out a school, choose a career, and more. If you're an active duty service member or veteran, a member of the National Guard or Reserves, or a qualified survivor or dependent, find out if you can get VA education benefits through the GI Bill and other educational assistance programs. You can get the benefits through the GI Bill if you served at least 2 years on active duty and you met all the requirements, including being honorably discharged and having a high school diploma, GED, or 12 hours of college credit. To apply for these benefits, all you need to do is go online, and I hope you have a pencil to write this down. https://www.va.gov/education/eligibility/ and that almost took the whole of my presentation, but I'm going to read it again. It's https://www.va.gov/education/eligibility/. Now, after all of that, you need to go in there and apply and get to where you want to be.
Thank you, Matt. As always, you have some great information. Now, take it away, Taylor.
Sure, Connie. I'd like to introduce Kevin Lewandowski. who has a monthly segment entitled From Incarceration to Success. Kevin is an Air Force veteran and homeless veteran outreach specialist for Volunteers of America. After returning home from the military, Kevin experienced homelessness for 28 years. He speaks passionately about his transformation out of darkness and addiction that had him living on the streets with a hardened heart. It was during a 3-year stint in 2 California state prisons that he finally turned his life over to God, returning to the Catholic faith of his youth. After serving his sentence and even finding permanent housing in Los Angeles, the Philadelphia native found himself terribly lonely and on the edge of going back to his former destructive lifestyle. That's when a black 5-pound reindeer chihuahua named Miss Bella came into his life. Kevin says since he had Miss Bella, he can explain it, but she ripped down that hardened heart, and for the first time in 20 years, he cried. You know, the tears. Kevin's guest today is Miss Lorraine Cobles, Outreach Specialist for Supportive Services for Veteran Families. Ms. Cobles was Administrative Assistant and Monitor for Veterans Transitional Housing. She has been working with homeless veterans for 6 years. She understands the struggles of homelessness and mental health from her self-experience. Welcome, Ms. Cobles, and take it away, Kevin.
You're muted, Kev. Kevin, you're muted.
Hi, everybody, and I'd like to thank Lorraine for coming on to the show. And Lorraine and I used to work together. We worked together in outreach before I got her. I kind of asked her to switch over to outreach. Then I left her and I went to work with the incarcerated transition program. She's a wonderful, wonderful example of someone with compassion for the homeless. She worked in the transitional housing for the veterans, and that's where they go until they get mentally ready and physically ready and able to get into permanent housing. So they stay there until they're transformed into where they can be productive members of society again. So hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
And
So
welcome, Lorraine.
Thank you.
Speak a little bit about how it was when you were working with the veterans in their transitional housing.
Well, I started off with being a monitor at VS 90 in West Los Angeles. And then from there, I grew very fond of all the programs out there, but I needed to go and do some more research. With all the research I did, I realized that outreach was one of my callings. And coming back to the facility, providing housing leads, mental health leads for our veterans was one of the biggest goals that I had. And I enjoyed working with them on a daily basis.
And Lorraine, what have you noticed different from the time you first started working with the veterans? What year was that?
I started working with veterans back in 2015.
And what do you see a difference coming through the door now than what you did back then? You see more of one type of a veteran than you do the other with a different type of disability?
I see a lot of incarcerated veterans coming out of incarceration with the need to want to rejoin the community, but having that mental barrier, unfortunately, has been the biggest problem for them. That's one thing I did have noticed. They don't know exactly what steps to take in order to succeed. And that's where facilities like VS 90 and transitional housing, especially for incarcerated veterans, do benefit for the veterans.
Yes, and that's my job, Lorraine, as you know. to get these veterans job ready. So
Exactly.
you send them to me when you find them off the streets, and you send them to me, and then I have to work with them and get them prepared to be productive members of society. And it's very rich. It's a very challenging thing to do because a lot of them they say they're ready, they feel they're ready, and you get to the job, and then they get that first paycheck, and poof, they're gone. You know, because they're not used to having money, they don't know how to handle it. So that's one of the very difficult problems that I have is the job retention.
Mhm.
Correct.
How do you
And-
help them in that area, Kevin and Lorraine, as far as once they get that check? Is there any help that is provided for them at that point, like some
Well,
type of?
at that point, I like with some of them, I tell them, you know, I'm not going to give them a job again until they seek outpatient treatment for drug and alcohol, because
Oh,
a lot of times that's their, you know, they get that check and then they think, oh, the party's on, and I'm going to spend all my money on you know, the alcohol and the drug. And another time is, you know, not only when they get their employment, but when they get their first housing. I've had people that were working very diligently, and they were great employees until they got out of the transitional housing and into their first apartment. Then they got into their first apartment, and boom, the party's on again. So
Right.
it's hard, you know, for addicts to make changes. You know, they think they have to celebrate for each change, and they think that they can handle that that transition, you know, and they can't, because say they've been sober in the transitional housing for a year, but then once they move into a place, they don't know how to handle it, and then feelings crop up and they go back to their addiction. So they have to learn how to handle and deal with feelings.
Isn't that where outpatient you know comes into play? You know, you have to pair them up with somebody. You guys do that, I assume. Um,
Yes, that's what I do, and I work with some of them come from the ABC clinic at the VA, and I work closely with their therapist there.
And you're a perfect role model, Kev. I mean, you've real briefly, because today is all about Lorraine, but real briefly, you went from the military to homelessness, and now you considered a role model. Your own apartment, fabulous new car, great
Miss Bella,
little friend, Miss Bella. That's who we all love. Miss Bella belongs to all of us, really. He puts little dresses on. He has all kind of little outfits for Miss Bella. Wherever she goes, oh, she's dressed today. Oh, look how cute. So anyway, yeah, tell us a little bit about you real quick, Kev.
That what
You
happened.
went
Well,
from homelessness
I
to
was homeless for 28 years, drug addict and alcoholic, the worst you could ever believe. And I couldn't get away from that addiction. It had me by such a grip that I thought I was doomed, that was the rest of my life. And then, you know, I wound up in prison. And then in prison, that's when I turned my life around. You know,
right.
it was only through God's intervention that it happened, because I couldn't have done it on my own. So then when I got out, I went directly into a rehab. Even though I was 3 years clean and sober, I went into a rehab because I didn't know how to stay sober on the outside. I could stay
Okay.
sober on the inside, but out in the real world, I didn't know how to do it. So I went into rehab, and they taught me how to remain sober. And you know, I've been sober ever since my day of arrest. So I'm coming up on 11 years clean and sober.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. And Lorraine, you and Kev worked together for how many years?
I've known Kevin now about 3 years now. We worked a good year and a half together, possibly two, on doing outreach together. I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie, I miss Kevin to the fullest. It was a wonderful experience and working with him on the field.
Oh, he's amazing. He's really amazing guy. Well, he's right there on our team, and we want to welcome you back as well. and learn from you, because, you know, Operation Confidence mission is to provide stable housing with supportive services such as what you guys offer. And we want everybody that can assist us with our mission to come on board and get involved. So
And
we really
Lorraine's
want you back.
gonna help us with that too, but she's got a lot of knowledge with the transitional housing.
Yeah, we really need her on board. And
I
I
would
sure
love to be
thank
part
you.
of that.
And make sure you come back too, Lorraine, because you have some more information to share. And because it's all about learning from each other, you know what I mean? So we want you back as a guest. Always welcome on Kevin's show.
Thank
So,
you very much.
My pleasure. So now we're going to turn it over to you, Brooke.
Thanks, Connie. I'd like to introduce Anthony Acampora. I'm sorry I got that name wrong, but Tony, we call him, will correct me. He's new to the show with a segment entitled Suicide Awareness, Veterans and Recovery. Tony is a published author and graduate of Vision International University, where he earned a master's degree in ministry. He also holds a master's diploma in biblical studies from the International School of Ministry. He's a chaplain and faith program director at Banyan Treatment Centers and an ordained minister, speaker, and writer with articles published in numerous national magazines. Most recently, Tony was awarded the 2019 Professional of the Year by Broward National Recovery. In 2018, he was selected as a Global Goodwill Ambassador representing the USA. Take it away, Tony, and welcome to the team.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Brooke, and thanks, Connie, so much for this opportunity. It's really an honor to be able to be a part of this mission with Operation Confidence and everything you guys have done and are doing. It's really a blessing. I'm not a veteran, but I work with a lot of veterans at our treatment center, Banyan Treatment Centers, and I head up our faith program. It's called Faith and Recovery, and we get veterans in from all over the country, usually through the VA with the Veterans Choice Program, and it's just been amazing. It's been about the last 6-7 months. We've had a lot of veterans come in, and some of them have been doing absolutely amazing. But I wanted to highlight a couple of things that are going on, and Connie and I were kind of working on. And one of the things that I don't know if everybody knows, she's been featured in Authority magazine, and it's devoted to sharing interesting feature interviews of people who are authorities in business, film, sports, technology. So that came out recently, and she's also going to be in Thrive Global, which is another international magazine. And it's interesting, their description, because I think it really kind of coincides with what everybody's doing here and what Connie's mission is. It says, we intend to use this platform to share stories of people who are creating new ways of how we can live and give and work in a way that helps people thrive. And that's exactly what this is all about. It's about our veterans. It's about the struggle that they go through and the pain and suffering. And so, that's really, it's a blessing to be a part of this. The other thing that's really, I think, a good thing that's going to happen on July 11th, I almost said November 11th. All right, July 11th, we're going to have on Dr. David Sulkin, who is the former VA secretary. And I'm not going to read his whole thing because it's really long, but this guy's he has an impressive background, and he was appointed by President Obama in that administration. And he was the only one that was carried over into the new administration, which is pretty amazing. And then when they voted on him to confirm him for VA secretary, it was 100-0, which is also pretty amazing. And I think what that speaks to is he's willing to work with anyone to make things happen for our veterans. And he has done a really incredible job. I've been watching a lot of his videos and interviews, and absolutely amazing what he has been able to do for the veterans. So we're also trying to get him booked and confirmed as a keynote speaker for the July 29th reception that's going to be out in California. He hasn't said no yet, but he hasn't said yes either. But he is going to be, he is confirmed for July 11th to be on this show. And Matt or Connie or anyone, if you want to ask anything, feel free. I mean, I'll just kind of kick things off and we could just let it go wherever it goes. But, you know, feel free to chime in or ask him any questions.
Yeah,
Will do.
Matt's going to be totally a part of that with you.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
Good. I'm sure he'd appreciate hearing from a veteran and any insight that you guys could provide. He's very helpful. I've been dealing with him for about 6 or 7 months now, and he's always willing to help and ask questions, things like that. So I think that says a lot about him. I mean, this was a cabinet position, and he's got a lot of name recognition, and but he, even in some of the videos, they show him, he's a doctor. They used to head up a lot of these different medical facilities. One of them is University of Pennsylvania Health System, Temple University Hospital. Just there's a whole bunch of different things. He was the dean of Drexel University School of Medicine. So what I love about some of these videos is he's actually interacting with the veterans himself. Like he rolls up his sleeves and he gets involved, and he's still doing that now. And I think the good thing is he doesn't have all the red tape being part of the government still with the VA. So we're going to be able to really utilize him, and it's going to be great to have him on this show. So that's kind of what I want. Yeah, that's all I really have. I just wanted to kind of highlight some of the stuff that you guys are doing.
Tony, you know what we need for you to share with us is what is it that your center is doing? Because it looks like it's something that Kevin has gone through here in Los Angeles. So tell us about, and you have other facilities throughout in California too, don't you?
Yeah, we have 14 facilities nationally. One of them, the one in California, is in Palm Springs. And we have one in Texas, there's Chicago, Boston. There's a lot of them. There's 5 in Florida. And it's basically substance abuse and mental health disorders. So the great thing about Banyan Treatment Centers is the owner is a devout Christian. He's a single owner. He owns the whole company. And he's the one that wanted and really was the driving force behind the Faith and Recovery Program, which I'm the director of and the chaplain. And that's in just north of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So when we get veterans in our Veterans in Recovery Program, they'll come into the faith program sometimes, but they're also doing a lot of things for PTSD, another thing's called EMDR, a lot of different specific therapies that they go through, grief and loss, moral injury, all these different things. But some of them are in the Faith and Recovery Program. And it's a blessing to be able to serve, you know, these guys that have served us and really to be able to give them the treatment that they really deserve and need.
Right. That's so important. This sounds wonderful what you're doing, and we're going to be able to work with them as well, especially with your support in helping us with our vets when we get our housing project, which we're going to get our housing project. I just want everyone to know that it's coming. Because of the pandemic, it slowed our whole process down, but we're right there making it work again. And I really want to thank you, Tony. That's great information. Now you're coming back. I don't have the schedule in front of me. When are you coming back? And I believe this is it with for the July the 11th? Is that it?
Yeah.
Aren't you coming back sooner than that?
Yeah, the 4th next week, and then the 11th with Dr. David Sulkin. So
exactly.
Yeah.
What are you coming on with next week?
I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know soon.
No, I think you had it already down. It was Guide to Recovery or something like that.
Oh yeah. Actually, it'll be some insight on recovery and also the mental health disorders to try to give some insight on that, because it's an inexact science, and a lot of people don't understand the brain and how it functions and mental health disorders, especially with our veterans that suffer with it, with PTSD and trauma. It's very complex. I'm not an expert at it. I just work with them, but I'm going to try to share like some insight as far as what what people go through, what, from my experience in dealing with them the past 8.5 years.
Right. That sounds great. That's a lot of information that I'm quite sure all of us need to know. Okay, we're going to turn it over to you, Charles, to introduce our next two guests.
All right. And Anthony, that's great, you know, because the spiritual thing is always a blessing too, to you know. So
Yeah,
anyway,
it is. We're all very faith oriented here. Every last one of us. Huh, Matt?
I'm sorry?
We said, Charles, repeat what you
comedy show.
said.
It's an entertainment show now.
I was saying we were all faith driven, and it's wonderful what Anthony is bringing to the show, you know, as far
And
as.
I wanted to say that I've always been a great admirer of the former secretary of the VA. I think he did a tremendous job. I know that a lot of the veteran service organizations were crazy about him, and they all missed him when he left. But I'm glad he's still out there and doing good things.
And it's going to be an honor. Can you imagine how much honor that is for him to come on our itty bitty show? Itty bitty.
Not anymore. It's getting big.
We're going out of the itty bitty, huh? We're getting there.
You got an itty bitty to start with, an itty bitty committee too.
Yes, right. We still got the itty bitty committee, but we're getting there. And thank you so much, Tony. And please, when you talk to him, let him know how much we're honored and pleased to have him.
And feel free, if we don't have him booked yet for the big reception in California on the 29th, to ask him when he's on.
Oh, heck yeah, I will. He's come in on Zoom, you know.
Yeah, I think we'll get him. But once he's on here, I think he'll have more of a comfort level, and he'll probably do it. Like I said, he didn't say no, but he's got a lot of different things going on. But we'll keep working on that. But we definitely have him on the 11th. So yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah,
that's such an honor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, take it away, Charles.
All right. I got a couple of guys I want to introduce. Elmer Jacobs Jr. and Dick Fulton. These guys are the president and the executive director of the Paralyzed Veterans of America PVA California chapter, which is here in Long Beach. So Elmer Jacobs is the president of PVA and Marine Corps veteran, war veteran with a passion for helping and serving fellow veterans. He's an advocate to secure the care for veterans with the most catastrophic and acute medical needs. Elmer was elected president of the PVA in 2019. Dick Fulton is a 20-year Air Force veteran and a graduate of the U.S. Air Force Academy. He has a passion for supporting the disabled veteran community. Dick was hired as the executive director for the PVA in September of 2019. These guys are my boys. Go ahead, take it away, brothers.
All right, thank you, Charles and Consuela. It's always good to be here on LA Talk Radio. It's an extra privilege to be amongst you guys. You know, you guys are doing great work. Dick and I are honored to be a part of your organization here, Connie.
There we are. Thank you again for the invite.
We need you guys so bad.
Absolutely. You know, we are honored to be here. And I want to say this, you know, you guys have a couple of great guests here previous to Dick and I coming on. And Kevin and Lorraine, man, you guys are doing great service out there. And Tony, we appreciate you too out there, my brother. And let me say this, you know, you guys mentioned it several times about religion and how your faith plays into your life, and never underestimate, you know, God in your life can make a difference. And I have to say that, Kevin, I know it's tough, you know, for a lot of those guys coming out of homelessness and trying to get into a productive life, but man, it has to be said that, like you were saying, Tony, being a religious man and to be there and to encourage these guys through Christ makes a difference. And so encourage these guys. You got to include Christ in their lives, and I think that'll make a difference in their recovery. Okay.
I could just hug you for that statement, Elmer, because that's what this project and this program is all about, faith. I mean, here it is. I think they say I stand about 4 feet 11. I think I was 5 feet. I shrunk a little bit. And I'm out here advocating for our veterans because I'm driven by God. I mean, I'm not a vet. I'm just a mom and grandmother, and I seen our guys living in the streets out of wheelchairs. Now, what was I supposed to do? Just wave at them and go by? They had no food, no water, no nothing. An encampment of them. So I've been on this mission, and although I've had many doors to close in my face, I don't care. God said, go around and open another door.
That's
but
right.
It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. I've learned and met people like you and Tony, and my Matt has always been there with me, and Charles has always been there with me, and my Taylor and my Brooke, and we're just making a difference. And we need people like you. I'm so blessed to have you and Dick on board. Tony's right there with me, and we're just gonna make a difference. We're going to make this happen. I have no idea, but God said, don't stop.
That's
so
right.
He gives me this energy, and I'm just so thankful to have you all. And what you said is, we couldn't do it without the man upstairs, you know?
That's right. That's right, Connie.
Got
So
Kevin and Miss Bella. You know?
yes.
Right. And just touching on that, I tell people, in my lifetime, I have been an inpatient in 9 different hospitals, and some of them more than once. But at the end of the day, I'm still here.
There you go.
And so that's the blessing. I'm here. I'm capable. I'm able.
Right.
So unfortunately, people don't believe like I do. I mean, some of them, but I don't believe in depression, and I kind of shrug it off. But that's a part of my faith.
That's right.
And so
we all have challenges of some sort, but that man upstairs keeps us going. And I thank you all. But let's hear about you, Elmer.
Yeah, sorry about that little sidebar, you guys. I had to get that in.
That was perfect, though. We needed that. That was right on time.
Yeah, but Dick and I, here at the California chapter, the PVA, I have to tell you guys, we have made tremendous steps towards helping our members. Currently, we have a little over 600 members, and I have to say they are scattered throughout all 50 states. Majority of them are here in California, but we try to support our guys wherever they are. And what this pandemic has taught us is that virtually makes a difference now, you guys. Coming out of this pandemic, I don't think we're going to remove ourselves from Zoom or Facebook yeah, we are definitely, that is a part of our organization and our lives right now. So even though I know this pandemic has taken on a great toll here in our country, we have shown resilience, and a lot of our members being at home, we've been able to reach them. We have such a thing as a chapter chat or buddy calls. We call our members every month. We could put together a committee of about 10 volunteers who call our members. We call them on their birthday. We try to reach out to them and be a little personal to let them know that we're there for them. And Dick, I want to bring you in here at this point, my brother. I wanted you to say a few things about that.
No, thank you very much. Yeah, we've been very fortunate with COVID and just trying to rethink our mission and how we can continue to support our members and reach out to them. And Kevin and Lorraine, it was nice to hear you guys when talking about homelessness stuff. We have homeless members in our chapter, and in just 2 weeks ago in one of our meetings, I even set up that I wanted to start learning more about advice on the homeless issue instead of just getting in touch with VA counselors and stuff too. So I'll probably be reaching out to both of you just to kind of increase my education arsenal on how to talk with our members when they're moving from hotel to hotel on a monthly basis. But we keep in touch with them. We find out members if they have food insecurities, medical issues, just not being in touch with their family, and just trying to, as Omer said, make a buddy check. Check on someone, just see how you doing. How are you today, and how are things today, and are you getting your medicine? Are you in touch with family? Are you getting out and doing stuff? Are you aware of our what the things that we do in our chapter? And you know, Paralyzed Veterans of America nationally has been in the front light of all the handicap issues our nation has fought over the years, from the ADA to disabled parking to the Air Carrier Act and putting handicap accessible bathrooms on airplanes. The PVA has been at the forefront of all of those issues and getting those out to not just disabled veterans, but individuals with disabilities as well. We provide sports and recreation grants and education grants to our members. With those 600 members are each eligible for up to $2,000 per year. That's $1.2 million worth of money that we can put directly into the pockets of our members to go out and, as simply as we put it, put a smile on their face. So you want to go go-kart riding, you want to go hang gliding, you want to go do a chess tournament, you want to go learn how to play wheelchair lacrosse, whatever it is you want to do. Go to a wedding, go to your mom's house, go to Disneyland, go to a football game, take an online course, earn your PhD. We've had a whole plethora of things going on that we are able to then provide funds to our members to do just that and put a smile on their face. And one of our campaigns we're looking at next year, which our fiscal year starts on July 1st, we're starting our new 100 New Smiles campaign, where we're basically going to figure out a way to ram $1,000 down the throats of 100 members who've never, for whatever reason, have never come to the chapter and requested a grant. And so we're basically going to find our members and say, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? That sounds like it's going to cost $1,000. Let's go do it and take care of it. So our goal is, one of our big campaigns this year is our 100 New Smiles campaign to get 100 members out and doing something that they never asked for support from the chapter before. And we're really excited about that.
Dick, when you say 100 new members, is it new members or 100 members you haven't done?
100 of our 600 members, we just picked 100. We don't have any picked out, but the first 100 people who have never come to us before and gotten a grant. Many of our members have already gotten grants, and they know the process, and they come to us each year and ask us to buy tickets or plane tickets or whatever. And so they're aware of the system, but we want to get 100 people who, for whatever reason, have never even knew that the chapter had money for them, and put a smile on a new smile on a member's face who's could have been a member for 20 years, but never, ever took a grant. Like Charles, in my time I've been here, I do not recall you taking a grant. Has the chapter ever sent you to the wheelchair games or to the winter sports clinic or summer sports clinic or anything?
No, but a trip to Tahiti sounds good right about now.
Well, you would figure it. If we haven't sent you somewhere in the past, or you've never gotten a grant, you would definitely be one of our 100 New Smile candidates. And if you want to go to Tahiti, probably going to need more than $1,000, but we can give you $1,000 to get there.
Well, you know what? On a serious note, because I do teach a songwriting class, and I'm actually looking for somebody to sponsor some iPads, for my students. Most of the students who come in, they can afford it, but not everyone has. So I just put out a filler for the foundation over at Rancho, just trying to help me come up with, maybe I can get 5 or 10 iPads that can be donated for this, because with the iPads, we're all using the same software. Then somebody won't be able to get into class and they're not having the tools to work with. So I mean, that's something that anything that comes is helpful. So and I'm wondering, I'm kind of like I make do with what I have, but what you're talking about is exactly true. It not just for myself, but the members. You know, these things are here. I mean, I was a member of the PVA for a long time. I had no idea until you guys got in office that there was this $2,000 a year for as a member you can go and do things and you guys would cover it. So
Yeah, well, Charles, that was not there before we came on board.
okay,
I tell you, Dick has been a great source of information to our chapter, man. I can't thank you enough for my brother now. You know, when Dick came on board, he came in with all kind of ideas. We sit down, we talked about it, and we said, let's make this happen. And this is part of what Dick has brought to our table. And so we're really thankful for this young man. And I can't thank him enough, you know, but Charles, definitely let's sit down and talk about how we can make that happen for you with your music class. All right.
all right, all right.
And
Well,
and and don't stop there. You know, like Dick was
oh yeah.
saying, you would be one of those 100 new members who's going to put a smile on your face. Okay.
All right, sounds good. I'm always open to it. I mean, I knew about the first time I met Dick was at the Christmas party. And I always mean he had that bright Christmas suit on, and
That's Santa
Amazing suit.
Claus.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
and so I went over there to play music for the members, and
Yeah.
originally it was going to be me and the band, and then I was going to DJ, and then it got cut down to just being a DJ, and then it got cut down and not even doing that. And I said, you know what? It wasn't about the money. I went over there to do it anyway for free. It's like,
Right. Right. Right.
it's just, yeah.
Well, you see how that came all together there? That was a good one.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Elmer, we got things to do too later on in the coming months.
I know, Constable.
We're gonna keep it a secret.
We're working on you guys. Okay.
Okay.
We've reached out to our legal counsel to make sure that we have everything in order
In
because
place. I
what
respect
we
that.
have here, we're open book. We want to keep everything we do on the up and up and out in the open. And so
Well, we don't know anything else but that, you know.
yeah, that's just how we are. And
That's how
so,
we are too, you know.
absolutely. That's why we appreciate you and looking forward to joining forces with you guys. And I got to tell you, coming out of this pandemic, man, things are going to be different,
Yeah,
you know. And we got to take advantage of this and plan for it because
Mhm.
nothing happens without planning. Okay.
That's right. But a lot of times God just throw me in there and I says, this you, Lord? Am I supposed to be here? So I'll be
That's
in
right.
situations where he just puts me to, but it's been great. And I
That's
thank you
right.
both. Dick, you've been absolutely wonderful as well. And I really appreciate both of you. And we just can't thank you enough. So, and you're coming back in a couple of more weeks, about 3 or 4 more weeks for another segment, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
I
want
think
to
we're
be a
trying. I
part
think
of
we're scheduling out for the fourth Sunday of the month.
Okay, there
yes.
you go. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
hey, while we talking about, briefly tell us about the event happening in September, where you guys are having people jump off the side of the building.
Dick, go ahead.
Well, jump off the side of the building is a little overstatement, but we are partnered with the Over the Edge organization, Over the Edge Foundation, and we are going to be sending anyone anywhere from 50 to 100 individuals, rappelling 141 feet down 14 stories down the side of the Long Beach Hilton as a fundraiser for our chapter. So individuals will sign up to raise money for the opportunity to rappel over the edge, and then through their fundraising for their event, it helps support all the great things we're able to do. That will definitely fund our 100 Smiles campaign, and might even allow us to increase the number of smiles from 100 to who knows what the number might could be. But that is going to happen on Labor Day weekend on Saturday, September 4th. And we're just added a new webpage to our to our webpage, and I saw it's there. It's still got a little construction stuff to it, but on our website, which is pvacc.org, Papa Victor Alpha Charlie Charlie.org for Paralyzed Veterans America California Chapter.org. There's our Over the Edge event button, and you can go in there and you can click on Elmer's name, our accountant's name, our first member sign up. In fact, I realize now we've even got more people going over the edge than we have on this website. So, but you can click on any of those links right now, and you can support Elmer, who's going. He's rappelling down the side of the hotel, and I'm going. So, just go to our website, click one of those people's names, and support them on their individual fundraising goals, which will then support the chapter. That's pvacc.org. Hit the Over the Edge button. And if you're interested in possibly rappelling 141 feet to raise money for the paralyzed veterans, go ahead and sign up on the page as well.
Yeah, I think Taylor's over there. She's chumming it up. She's ready.
Here we go.
I don't think so, Taylor. Charles, you going?
I'll be there. You know, I went skydiving, so you know, I went skydiving, so you know, it's not as risky. You know?
Okay, yeah, like right.
Connie, I heard the ideal size I heard the ideal size is if you're 4'11", that is the perfect size.
Oh heck no! You
There you go.
Get it? Oh heck no! I can't do none of that.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a great fundraiser though. And yeah. Anthony, you got anything before I turn it over to Brooke to bring on Matt as we're getting ready to wind down?
I think I'll just pick up from where Charles was saying about how God, there's nothing impossible with him, and how important that faith aspect is with anything, in particular, people that are struggling and broken in spirit and lost. And we have one veteran that's been with us probably about 3 months now. And when he first came in, he was probably one of the worst patients we've ever had, if not in the top 3. And he's progressed so incredibly. And now he ended up coming to Christ at Calvary Chapel in Fort Lauderdale a couple of weeks ago. And now he's in our faith program. He wasn't in the faith program before. And this genuine transformation of this veteran's heart, who had so much pain, so much trauma, so much torment. And we actually may bring him on board and hire him at some point.
Oh, please bring him on the show.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's absolutely incredible. And it's not me, and it's not a therapist, and it's no one other than him.
The man up God. There. Exactly.
Amen. Amen.
Please bring him on the show. He sounds like has a wonderful testimony. We would love to hear it. But I really thank you. Well, Taylor, turn it over to you to bring on our next segment.
Now it's time to hand it back over to Matt to acknowledge a special American invisible hero.
Thank you, Taylor. It was early in the monsoon season, so the progress of the Marines was hampered not only by the dense foliage, but also by the intermittent rains and slippery mud. Suddenly bad went to worse as the lead element walked into the enemy. From their concealed positions, the North Vietnamese opened fire, wounding 4 men. Further up the hill, the rest of the Marines were struck by the impossible terrain and the hail of enemy fire. No one could reach the wounded. Lance Corporal Noonan was a rifleman in his company. Despite an education that could have granted him an almost immediate commission when he joined the Corps, now the 25-year-old took it upon himself the task of rescuing his brothers. Carefully, he moved down the slippery slope, ever mindful of the heavy enemy presence. Nearing the wounded, he took cover behind some rocks and shouted encouraging words to the wounded Marines, assuring them that help was on the way. Alone, he raced across the fire-swept area, locating the most seriously wounded man and dragging him back to shelter. Enemy rounds whistled through the area, hitting Noonan and knocking him to the ground. Despite his wounds, Last Corporal Thomas Noonan got back up and resumed dragging the wounded Marine towards the cover of the rocks from which he had earlier encouraged the men. Before reaching the shelter, enemy fire reached out again, a rain of hot lead striking the young corporal's body. Inspired by Noonan's example, the rest of the platoon charged the enemy, pushing them back and reaching the wounded. All four survived. Noonan was the only casualty. He died, the collar of the wounded comrade's fatigue shirt still grasped in his hands. A valiant attempt to save a friend. He was the first to earn a Medal of Honor in an operation that would test the courage of all the Marines of the 9th.
As always, you have something heartwarming to share with us. Thank you so much, Matt. Turn it over to you, Brooke.
Thanks, Connie. Before Ms. Connie closes, I'd like to remind our listeners about our amazing advertisement rates. We have 10-second and 30-second advertisement slots available. Please email info@operationconfidence.org for more information. That email address again is info@operationconfidence.org, and visit the Operation Confidence website at www.operationconfidence.org and go to our resource page for some amazing resources. Also, I'd like to inform our viewers and listeners about Amazon Smile. When making your next purchase on Amazon, please go to Amazon Smile and type in Operation Confidence in the Choose Your Organization donation box. Amazon will make a small donation to Operation Confidence.
Thank you. And as always, we want to remind our listeners that our goal for this show is to raise awareness about Operation Confidence and our mission, which is to provide stable housing with a wide range of supportive services, including job opportunities, counseling, and much, much more for our veterans, especially those who are disabled and have experienced homelessness. And we're going to end the show with our sponsors, Paralyzed Veterans of America video. Charles, are you ready?
I'm ready like Freddie.
All right, Charles, let's go with it.
This is my boys. PVA.
Long Beach, PVA, California, chapter USA. The city by the waterfront, where the veterans work and play. Long Beach, PVA, California, chapter USA. The city by the waterfront, where the veterans work and play. Long Beach, PVA, California chapter. Long Beach, PVA, California chapter.
All right.
All right. Don't forget to tune in next week at the same time, 2 o'clock to almost 3. And don't forget to get in touch with us at info@operationconfidence.org. That's info@operationconfidence.org. I want to thank our guests and our sponsors and our hosts, and we're just doing amazing work, thank God. Thank you all, and say goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, Connie.
Bye,
Thank you, Charles.
everyone.
My
All
pleasure.
You're listening to Operation Confidence Radio Talk Show, America's Invisible Heroes, with Consuela Mackey, only on LA Talk Radio.